about the police radio and you and Chief?
You know, I think I will let Mike go through that in greater detail because it has to do with a county-wide communication system, so it's more than just Corona. And then he can kind of touch on the Facebook page as well. Otherwise, I can come back to that for him.
Why don't you want to go ahead and do that now, Chief?
Yes, in summary, I can tell you that the police department's been looking at a radio system probably back 3 years now. It's part of our initial strategic plan. And it's not so much for us about any type of encoding or anything like that. It's more about getting better coverage for our officers. We have a couple dead spots, so to speak, within the city right now, and we're not getting the coverage we need with our current system. So we've been evaluating everything from building our own system to changing it, to upgrading it, to partner with another city. All on the same time, Riverside County spent $170 million to upgrade a county-wide system with infrastructure throughout that all agencies could go to. So that got our attention. We monitored it as it was being developed and once it started. And then along came the Christopher Dorner investigation and everything that went along with that, and interoperability with agencies not being able to communicate on the fly to one another like we'd like to. Technology's improved. We have radios that allow that now hand to hand, but what we ultimately would like to see, and we're moving towards now in the future, is car to car, a whole robust radio system that the county has that all of us local agencies can ultimately one day go to. Now with that came that ability to have them where they're not being monitored with a scanner, so to speak, and putting that information out. But that's kind of more of a byproduct that came with the program that we're looked at, so it wasn't the reason why we went to it. It's kind of the history on it, timeline.
Well, and the new system isn't truly a radio system. It's really a computer system, correct?
Digital, correct. Yeah. Timeline, we're not there yet. We're just in the very infancy stages of infrastructure and building the radios out, getting the cars built out. I'm looking at probably next year sometime to be fully operational and going over to it. But the whole plan is it's not just a City of Corona plan, county-wide plan for law enforcement. Marietta just went to it. I think there was a good article on it recently in the Press Enterprise last week that talked about the agencies that are moving towards it. We're moving towards it, City of Riverside. But it was had a lot to do with, it more had to do with better coverage for the officers so they can communicate at dispatch so we don't have dead areas throughout the city. And then the second prong to it was that radio interoperability so we can speak to one another immediately without having different varied systems. One system, kind of like fire does it, throughout Riverside County for police agencies. So that was the driving factor several years ago. And then came the new concerns and issues with having people be able to scan it or not scan it, and brings us to where we are today.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.